How often do we read in the newspapers about another child or young person that's been mistreated? Talk often starts looking to lay the blame at another person's door. What we should be thinking about is stopping a situation from developing in the first place. The government has given this a lot of thought. You'll soon be hearing about ContactPoint. But what's ContactPoint all about? ContactPoint is part of the government's Every Child Matters plan to transform services for children by supporting more effective prevention and early intervention. The programme's goal is to improve the health, well-being and safety of all children to make sure all young people, whatever their background or their circumstances, have the support they need. One way of doing this is by having all the information that the authorities have about a child in one place. Think of it this way, ContactPoint would be like an online directory available only to authorised staff who need it to do their job. It will list the basic contact information for every young person and child living in England under the age of 18. But why, you might ask yourself, is that important? People who are working with a child or young person need to be able to talk to each other to make sure that the child or young person is being looked after well by the professionals from different agencies who are working with them. Imagine you are a teacher, for instance, and a young person you are teaching starts to behave differently from normal. It is important as a teacher that you can quickly find other professionals who have an involvement with the child. That way, a coordinated approach can be taken to provide the support required for an individual child or young person. Within ContactPoint, a professional person will be able to quickly find the contact details of everyone they may need to help that child or young person. Also, if young people move around the country or are coming to live in a region for the first time, then ContactPoint will mean key information can be found quickly and there is less chance of information being lost. The detail that can be held on ContactPoint is the basic contact information, and remember, only professionals with the right clearance can use it. The records will show the name, sex, address and date of birth of all young people living in England until their 18th birthday. ContactPoint will also hold the contact details for each child or young person's parent or carer, the school they go to, and their doctor's contact details, where they are registered. There might also be contact details for other people involved with them, such as a health visitor, school nurse, or youth worker, for instance. It will not have any doctor's notes, case notes, or assessments, or even school records kept there, just contact details of the people other professionals may need to speak to. You might be wondering where all of this information will come from. Well, really, it's already there. A school already has contact details for a parent or a doctor. A health visitor will have a record of a baby's carer. ContactPoint simply brings all of that information and puts it in one place. ContactPoint will be created by the Department for Children, Schools and Families, also known as the DCSF, and will be held safely and securely. The system will make it easier for professional people to quickly find out who they need to contact about a child or young person if they have any concerns and help prevent any problems developing. Only people who already work with young people as part of their job will be able to access information through ContactPoint. These people will be specially trained and have to pass stringent security checks before being allowed to use the system. Each user will have a unique PIN, password, logon name and security token. They will have to meet tight security measures before being given access to the system. This is important to keep all the information private, safe and secure and ensure it is used correctly to help the young people. Checks to make sure only people with proper permission to use ContactPoint will be carried out. If anyone is found trying to use information without good reason or proper permission, they will be investigated and could face criminal charges. However, there is also a way that anyone can check their own information, and that is by writing to their local authority for a subject access request for information held on them, also sometimes known as a data subject access request. This means if you think the information held might be incorrect, you can check. You can view or amend your child's record, but you must be a parent or carer of a child or young person under 12. If you are a young person over 12, then you can ask to check the information yourself. By law, any request to check the information held about a young person must be answered by the local authority within 40 days once the person applying has proven their identity. Once a young person reaches the age of 18, then their details will be removed. Some young people's records can stay on until they are 25, where there is a need to continue services. For this, the ContactPoint team at your local authority must have the consent of the young person or their parent or carer. In some cases, access to a young person's full details can be restricted. This is called shielding. This would be in cases where a child or young person, their parent or carer, could encounter increased harm if their details were available. In such cases, there are strict guidelines that cover anything but the most basic information. This prevents information about the young person's whereabouts being seen by the ContactPoint user. Young people or their parents or carers can make their own request for shielding, and the full details of how this can be done can be requested by writing to the ContactPoint team at your local authority. ContactPoint is already working in some areas and will be rolled out across the whole of England during 2009. For the first time, there will be a central record of the contact details of every young person living in England that will help professionals working with children and make sure that all our young people, no matter what problems they're faced with, can get the help that they need. For further information, please get in touch with your local authority who will put you in contact with their local ContactPoint team, or you can check out your local council's website.